So I was at a craft show, and a lady comes over and talks to me. She says that she owns a Christmas tree farm here in New York, in Naples, and they have reindeer. And they're one reindeer. They just cut the antlers for the first time, and she wanted to make some knives and some other things out of them. So she gave me some chunks of the reindeer antler here, and I'm going to make 2 fixed blade knives, full tang, and then 2 fixed blade hidden tang with the guard on them, and make some nice sheaths for them. And it's going to be a really cool project. And she said if they sell well in her store, then she's going to get me some more, and we'll make some more. So just join me on this fun little project here, and we'll get going. Alright, so for this guy, I cut these 2 in half. And I think for this guy, go a little bit smaller, but I'm thinking I want to do, I want to do just like a basic Skinner shape, but we're going to put a Hamon line on it. So, let's see what I want to keep here shape-wise. I think we're going to keep this shape. There's my handle scale, and I like that shape. So I'm just going to take this curve here, just accentuate it to my grinder. Then we'll put another little curve right here. That top pretty much where it is. Just refine it a little bit. And then lead that down into my Skinner. So again, trusty straight edge. Draw that line out. And I think I want this to really come to here. I love this grid paper because I kind of have my lines here that I can follow. Just bring this up. Just keep that nice Skinner shape there. Let's see. Yeah, I'm liking that. I'm going to go a little bit smaller on it. But let me see what I got for my stock here. Alright, so this is the thickest piece of W2 that I have. And this knife, I think I'm just going to go with stock removal knife. Nice and quick and easy, but still beautiful. So let's see. So yeah, I've got that width on there. Pretty good. So yeah, I think that's going to do it. And I'll just put some nice little designs right here up at the top. So these are both aesthetically pleasing and functional. When you're holding the knife, you want a little bit of a grip there, because when you push down on something, so this is a knife I finished for a guy. When you push down on something and cut, you don't really want to push into it and cut. You really want all that force to be just behind your thumb or your finger, if you prefer a finger. And that little grip just helps you stay on the spine, and you just really dig into whatever you're cutting, and you get much better force and a much better cut. So there's about what we're going to go with this. And we're going to do pinholes. I'm going to put a lanyard hole in this one. So we'll put a lanyard hole there. Then we'll do pinhole and a pinhole. And then try and get that nice little bit of resin. Right there in the center. Refine this handle shape a bit. So yeah, nice and simple. and that should turn out really nice. So now we'll just cut it out and grind it, and away we go. So I just took the knife over to my angle grinder, and I got those grooves rough cut out. So now I'm just going to take it over to my belt grinder and get everything shaped exactly how I want it, and go from there. So I got my 36 grit belt here, and we're just going to shape this guy out. So here we have the rough shape ground in there. I have yet to put my little designs on the top or put drill holes in it. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to sand this down to a 60 grit, and then I'm going to go out to my forge and I'm going to stamp my logo on there. Alright, so this is how she looks like after being annealed. So I'm going to go ahead and clean her up, put an edge on her, and put those little details in the top. Then drill holes for the handle, and get that set up. So I've got my 2 handle scale bits here taped together, and that's so I can get that first hole here nice and lined up. Get that nice as even as I can. Alright, drilling the lanyard hole now. Does that on occasion. Lost a chunk of my finger that way, and that's why you always use the clamp. Alright, so I got that lanyard hole drilled, and I'm going to drill that in the handle, and then just drill some bigger holes, take some material out, make her a little bit lighter, and I'll get back to you then. So here she is. Go ahead and grind an edge on her. So I got that rough edge ground in on there, and I'm just going to take it to 60 grit, and I'll get back to you as we go ahead and put furnace cement on it for a hamon line. Alright, so there's many different ways to do a hamon line. You always want to put furnace cement of some sort on the blade, because what you're doing is a differential heat treatment of your knife. You want the edge to get nice and hard, but you want anywhere where your cement is covering to be soft. And then when you go and acid etch it, that brings out that beautiful hamon line. So what I have here is called satinite or satanite, and I get this off of Amazon. And this is the best stuff that I've found so far. I've tried a couple different things, but this is the best that I've found so far. So what I do is I get it to this consistency that I like it at, and then I go ahead and I paint it on the blade. And I want to make sure that both sides are roughly the same in their coating. So I'll usually start and just put a really good amount just on the face of the knife, but nothing on the edge yet. And I'll put a little bit on my putty knife here and just drag down just like that. And what that does is gives me a little bit of a pattern, a little bit of a design, makes it a little bit less boring when you get that hamon line in the end. So the more kind of interruption and just different shapes and stuff that you're able to get on here, the more interesting it should be in theory. You just want to make sure that you're coated thick enough. And then so I'm going to let this dry for a sec, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the other side just like that. And then we're going to go and heat treat it. Alright, so I got her in the forge. Go ahead and pull her and quench her. So I'm using Parks 50 quenching oil. That's the best thing you want to use when you're heat treating W2. Actually, most high carbon steel, really. And we'll just keep that in there for about 10 seconds or so. Pull her out. And then I dunk her in saline bath. And that just gives that extra little bit of hardness. Clean off as much of this furnace cement as I can. Back in the water. And check for warps. No warps. Hopefully no cracks. And we'll let her rest for a second, and then put her into my tempering oven and temper her at 450 for an hour, and we'll probably do 2 cycles of that, and then I'll be back with you when she's cleaned up and tempered. So the knife finished the tempering process, and I just cleaned it off with my wire wheel. You can see that those marks from the furnace cement. So now I'm going to grind everything down to 400 grit and then hit it on my buffing wheel, and then we're going to dip it in acid to bring that hamon light out. Alright, so I got her nice and polished up, and now I'm going to dunk it in ferric chloride for 30 seconds, pull it out, rinse it off, rub it down with rubbing compound, polish it on my buffing wheel, and then repeat the process another 2 times until I get the knife and the hamon line exactly where I want it. Alright, that's about 30 seconds. Let it drip for a sec, and you'll slowly be able to see that hamon line start to come out. I don't know if you can see it on the camera here. You can see that slowly start. Alright, so now you can definitely see that hamon line on there really start to pop. And we'll just hit it with this rubbing compound and clean it up, and then go over to the buffing wheel and hit it with my heavy duty buffing grind. So once I polish this up, you really will just only barely be able to see that hamon line on there, and the whole knife will just be this gray color. I mean, if the light hits it right, you can see the hamon. Let me see if I can do this here. Yeah, see? You can see it there? So that'll become a lot more refined when I repeat this process. And then when I hit it on my buffing wheel and get it to a nice mirror polish, you'll really be able to see that hamon line in there. And that'll look really cool. So there we go. Over to the buffing wheel. There we go. There she is. And we'll just put those reindeer antler handle scales on there and make up a nice sheath for her, and she's good to be sent off to her new owner. Alright, so here's the finished knife. There she is. Beautiful Hamon line on that. Turned out beautiful. It's a good look at the handle. Again, this is Reindeer Antler. Turned out pretty sweet. And now we just send her out and hope that she sells. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for another video on the next knife. I got 4 knives to make, but I'm only going to do 2 videos showing them off. So just stay tuned. We'll be back.